Well, I don't think he's showing up.
I'm sure he'll be here any minute. He said he'd meet us here today.
And yet, I do not see the lawyer. Van Exel, what does next week look like?
Jam-packed, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let's try to find a space for the state versus Milo Roberts and issue a continuance.
Sorry I'm late, Your Honor. You have my solemn word that it will never happen again. The thing is, I just caught this case last night, and I was finishing up some business down in detention, and a fight broke out in the yard. I got stuck in a lockdown. No one gets in, no one gets out. Couldn't even get to my cell phone anyway. How you doing, Milo? I'm here now. Stuart Collins for the defense. What did I miss, Your Honor? Amy?
I thought you were in Sri Lanka.
It didn't even occur to me that you would...
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm out of the loop here. Does Your Honor have a pre-existing relationship with Mr. Collins?
No, a relationship, no.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of. We were in the same class at law school together.
Is that all?
Once, I appeared before Judge Gray in criminal court back when I was a prosecutor.
Okay. Is that all?
Several years ago, Mr. Collins recommended me to the governor for an appellate court position.
I see. So that's all.
Well...
Yes, that's all.
We went swimming together.
Swimming?
Once.
It was twice. Once with clothes, once...
Mr. Collins.
It was kind of a date.
And that's enough.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, I'm sure you do, but I'm not going to answer any of them because I'm officially recusing myself from this case. So, Mr. Van Exel, would you please find another docket for the state versus Milo Roberts? And, hey, how about a 10-minute recess? How does that sound? Sounds good to me, and that'll bring us to 5 o'clock. And, have a good evening, everyone.
10-minute recess.
What? You gonna tell me you never went swimming with me?
No, absolutely not. Go change.
Come on. What's wrong with this shirt?
Okay, first of all, that's not a shirt. That's a third of a shirt.
It's called a belly shirt. And for your information, everyone wears them.
Well, for your information, I don't care if everybody wears them. You're too young to wear it.
According to who?
According to me.
I knew you were gonna see that.
And your doctor.
Dr. Pollard says I can't wear a belly shirt?
Yes, she does. On account of your condition.
What condition?
Your, prematurely inverted belly button condition. No, well, sure, it looks fine now because we had it fixed when you were an infant, but too much exposure to sun or air, and it might pop out again. And I don't think that's a risk you want to take.
I don't believe you.
Go change your shirt! What was she thinking?
Heaven's sake, Amy, your belly button is on display here 3 times a week.
Well, I'm an adult. I'm allowed.
Yes, you are, and you can flash your navel anytime you want to. It's not your best look, if you want my opinion, which is why I would cover it up when you're on the date with the ex-boyfriend.
Okay. All right. First of all, it's not a date. It's a lunch. And second of all, Stu was never a boyfriend.
I'm sorry, perhaps boyfriend is the wrong word. What do you call a person with whom you are occasionally naked?
Knock, knock. Hi. Can one of you watch Ned? Please say yes.
When you say watch,
Our babysitter is late,
Her Yugo broke down again.
and we have a doctor's appointment this morning.
Can't you reschedule?
I've been down that road.
No, we can't reschedule. This is the appointment.
We're getting the amnio results, so we're gonna, find out the gender.
Oh, you don't want to be surprised.
Why does everyone say that? Yes, we want to be surprised. We just want to be surprised today.
It'll only be for an hour or so. Susie, the babysitter, she can meet you here.
Well, I have to do carpool.
well, seeing as how I've been forbidden to ever try carpool again, it looks like it's you and me, Ned.
Oh, thanks. Don't worry about the rash on his arms. The doctor's 90% sure it's not contagious.
Paget v. Paget. This is a petition to modify a custody arrangement. Donald Paget is suing for full legal guardianship of their daughter, Lila.
Ms. Marks?
Thank you.
Your Honor, a little over a year ago, and without my client's consent, Lila Paget, then 13 years old, signed a recording contract with the company Teen Dream Productions. Her mother co-signed the contract as Lila's legal guardian.
I take it Lila is an accomplished singer.
Her second CD comes out next month. She also dances and acts, and
But apparently no longer attends high school. She's dropped out.
she'll get her GED. She's being tutored.
Tutored in what? How to dress like a stripper? Look at what they've got her wearing in these magazines.
Mr. and Mrs. Paget, you're actually not on Judge Judy, so let's just pretend to be civil. Continue.
Your Honor, my client believes that Lila's mother has made a series of irresponsible and neglectful decisions regarding his daughter's welfare. As part of a touring musical act, she's been exposed to a dangerous and unhealthy lifestyle. Her education has been ignored, and her image has been exploited, sexualized, and mass marketed.
Your Honor, if I might interject.
Please, interject away.
Ms. Paget has not ignored her daughter's education. In fact, she's done quite the opposite. She has ensured it. Lila is poised to make between $200,000 and $300,000 next year, all of it earmarked for a college savings fund.
She's not going to get into college if she doesn't bother with high school.
She's got an opportunity to see the world here.
Oh, yes, and now the world has an opportunity to see her. Take a look.
Ms. Markey.
Coming to a newsstand near you, my daughter's cleavage.
We would like these entered into evidence, please.
I've explained this to him. Those are called proofs, and we have the right to say no to any of those pictures.
That is not the point. The point is that you let them be taken at all.
How old is Lila?
14.
15.
Hey,
In May, she'll be 15, Your Honor.
We care about William quite a bit. But I'll be honest with you, it's been a challenge. We tried to make him feel comfortable.
We did more than try. We gave him his own room, left him alone.
We never really knew what was going on with him. It seemed like he was always upset.
You do know what he's lived through, don't you? A refugee from Sudan. You've spoken with his sponsor?
Yes, several times. And believe me, we're sympathetic. Amanda, that's my daughter, she has been studying the Civil War in the Sudan in her history class. We know. And we tried to arrange for William to talk to her class, but he wasn't interested.
Not in speaking to a class, but he was definitely interested in Amanda.
Tim? 3 nights ago, Amanda woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and William was in her room.
What was he doing?
What do you think?
Amanda said that he was sleeping. He was on the floor next to her bed. Well, she screamed when she saw him, so he jumped up to his feet, and by then we were both in there.
What did you say?
I just told him to go back to his room.
I told him he was lucky I didn't call the police, and if it happened again, I would.
You terrified him.
He was in Mandy's room.
And that's the night he left.
When we woke up the next morning, he was gone. He took most of his clothes with him. He made his bed. There was no note or anything, and he didn't go to school. So we checked the neighborhood, called the police.
He's not coming back.
What's wrong with Jonah? He looks like a Jonah.
First of all, we don't even know it's a boy.
Oh, it's a boy. Look, I can see it right there. It's waving at me.
What? Now all of a sudden you're a doctor? You don't know what you're looking at? For all we know, that's his elbow. Or mine.
Oh, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. Oh, doctor, that sonogram was incredible. You can actually see the baby's heart beating.
I swear I could feel her kicking.
Okay, so tell us it's a boy, isn't it? Because I'm sure I
You know
saw
what? I've changed my mind. We want it to be a surprise.
Mr. and Mrs. Gray, let's slow down for just a second. I just received the results of your amniocentesis.
Yes?
There's a problem.
The numbers are pretty raw, but in 12% of amniotic fluid samples, more than one cell type is revealed. This can be reflective of fetal mosaicism.
What? What does that mean?
In your case, the karyotype indicated approximately 7% of the fetal cells.
Is that bad?
There's a significant, if difficult to quantify, possibility that your baby will be born with certain congenital defects.
What defects?
It's known as trisomy 18. The syndrome is associated with a broad spectrum of variable abnormalities consisting of defects to the heart, the kidneys, and part of the bone structure. I'm sorry.
Sri Lankan hospital with dysentery. Actually, that was one of the highlights of the trip because, you know, they had cable.
Isn't suffering part of the pilgrimage experience?
Here's something I learned. Pilgrimage is actually just a fancy name for crappy vacation.
So you didn't have any big revelations?
I did have one. I climbed this mountain in the middle of a monsoon, right? And I stood there in the pouring rain, and I realized that I had left this amazingly beautiful, intelligent, naked woman in a swimming pool, and I flew halfway around the world in search of something sacred. And what do I get for my trouble? Acute intestinal distress.
Lovely.
Yes. Well, shall we?
I thought you might call, you know, when you got back.
I was going to.
It's totally fine.
My life was a mess. I needed to sort some things out, like, for instance, my career.
Yeah, criminal defense. Where'd that come from? Is that another revelation?
No, a couple months after I got back, I got a call from a friend. His son had been arrested and he needed some last-minute representation in court. So I took care of it, and I must have done something right because this thing kind of snowballed. My phone hasn't stopped ringing.
And do you like it? Being on the other side of the aisle?
The truth? I love it. I don't know why. 90% of my referrals come from county lockup. I'm making no money. And last week, a client, he paid me with a dozen pairs of sneakers, and I'm pretty sure they're hot. But you know the feeling you get when you realize that you're good at something? Well, I'm good at this. I wake up in the morning and I can't wait to get to it.
Well, it sounds like the pilgrimage paid off.
I was gonna call you.
Oh, Stu, it's fine.
I was, and I mean not just about us, but you know, because I read about that trouble that you had with the stalker. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Thank you.
And that kid, Eric Black.
Well, he's innocent. Saved my life. I believe that.
That's what it sounds like. It's obviously self-defense. I mean, it's a winnable case. Why is he cutting a deal?
What are you talking about? There's no deal. He's pleading innocent.
Are you sure?
I think I would have heard.
Okay. Then it's nothing. My information must be wrong.
What information?
I heard he's going to plead guilty to manslaughter.
No.
Yes, of course I remember William. The state service brought him here with 2 other boys from his village. William was the subject of much debate.
Why was that?
Well, he was the youngest of the 3. The state insisted that we find a foster family for him.
And with good reason, I imagine. William is 15?
It's hard to say exactly. By the time most of these boys reached the refugee camp in Kenya, they'd been walking for many months, years in some cases. Aid workers in the camp made their best guess and assigned approximate ages. We were told William was 15.
The state errs on the side of caution. They consider William a minor.
Perhaps that's a mistake.
Perhaps that's the law.
How much do you know of these refugees, the ones they call the Lost Boys of the Sudan?
I've read a bit. Is this a quiz?
William's village was burned to the ground by army forces. He was one of 20 boys who escaped into the bush. They found each other, started walking. 6 months and over 1,000 miles later, the 3 boys found a refugee camp, or the other 17 all dead. Starvation, thirst, some were ripped apart by predators, lions, hyenas, crocodile. All I'm saying is, in some ways, William is no more a minor than you or I.
Do you think he'd be better off living on his own?
I'd hope that he'd be allowed to live with Jacob and Tabor.
The other survivors from his village?
Yes, they've got an apartment together downtown. We're working very hard on finding them jobs.
May I have the address for this apartment? Mr. Dutt? If William is picked up as a runaway, he goes into something called a secure placement. That's basically juvenile lockup. We'd like to avoid that.
About a month ago, this colleague of mine, guy in sales, came back from a business trip to Japan, and he brought me a videotape, something he'd seen on Japanese television. There's a video starring my daughter. The record company that she signed with was test marketing it overseas.
Where it was a big hit. Most parents would be proud.
Have you seen the video? She looks like a hooker.
It's called Makeup and New Clothes. She's a teenager, Donald. Maybe you've read about them in books. They like to dress up.
Moving on.
All I know is I put the video in at lunch, and I was stunned and horrified and angry. I made 2 phone calls. The first was to Lila's mother, and the second was to my lawyer.
May we watch the video now?
Please. And just for the record, what is the name of the video?
Baby, tie me up.
Charming.
It's kind of a play on words.
Yeah, exactly.
But most girls are like me. I like it hot, I like it rough. I can't get enough.
So how long does this go on?
Oh, no, you don't want to stop it now because then you'd miss the part where the pipes burst and she dry humps a plumber.
Nobody's humping anyone. It's called aerobic dancing, you ass.
I think I've seen enough.
2 knife wounds, 1 gunshot. Oh, and 1 guy who, get this, was tomahawked in the head.
Again? 3rd time this month.
Really?
No, Kyle, you need sleep.
Peter, what? You realize there's a lunatic running around Hartford with a tomahawk? What's going on? You okay?
I need to talk. Can we talk?
Yeah, come with me.
I don't know what to do. I need information.
He said only 7% of the cells were affected. Well, that's something to consider. It can be as high as 50%.
Right, so there's a good chance the baby doesn't even have it.
According to the latest research, you can have symptoms with as little as 5%.
So he is gonna have it?
No, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. He could be born with no problems whatsoever.
Yeah. Good. Well, what do we do? I mean, how can we make that happen? Vitamins, a hormone treatment? What about prenatal surgery? I've read about that.
Peter, there's nothing you can do about this. It is what it is.
Okay, let's say the baby did have problems. They might be pretty minor, right?
Without reading the file, without looking at the test results,
Kyle, I'm an insurance guy. That's who I am. I need to know the risks, probabilities. What can we do?
In a situation like this, there's a range of possible responses. Have you considered all of them?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Jillian's only in her 16th week.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh.
In our bedroom, we had the bunk bed. The table and I helped to build them. Do you know about the bunk bed?
Yes, my son slept in bunk beds until they were about your age.
Did you ask him?
Not now. Ask me what?
Jacob wants to know if you have encountered any more ding-dongs.
When these guys moved in last month, our donation center was still somewhat disorganized. They wound up with 12 boxes of hostess desserts.
I raised 3 children. I am familiar with ding-dongs.
They're quite good, yes?
What about William? Mrs. Gray wants to know if you've heard from him.
We spoke to him last week. We were supposed to visit him, but he never called again.
Okay, listen. Next time he calls, you tell him to call me. And when you hang up, I want you to call me.
Is William in trouble?
No. If he asks, the answer is no.
But we need to find him.
We're filing for a change of venue. Why? Because the potential jury pool couldn't fill a bathtub. That's why. Read the motion. Let me call you back. Amy, I know. I owe you a phone call. I just got buried this week.
Cutting a deal for manslaughter.
What?
Last time I talked to Eric, he was pleading innocent on all charges. We were going ahead to trial. Now I hear it might be a deal for manslaughter.
Where did you hear that?
Is it true?
There have been some discussions.
Oh, that's That's just great. It would have been nice to be part of those discussions.
Amy, you are neither the client nor are you his lawyer. You're not even a foster parent. Your interests are not my priority.
Hey, Eric's interests are my interests. He's part of my family.
Well, a manslaughter plea could mean 1 year detention maximum, no more. Now that's worth considering.
No. It is still 1 year in jail with an admission of guilt that's going to be with him for the rest of his life. He's innocent, Jane.
It's a gamble. If he loses, he could be locked up until he's 21.
It's a winnable case.
I knew this would be a problem when I took this job. Why do you think I don't return your phone calls?
What?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to represent this kid while being second-guessed every step of the way by the juvenile court judge on the sidelines?
I just want to help. Someone needs to look out for Eric's interests.
Yes. And right now, that someone is me.
Good luck.
What are you doing?
Come on, you've read that book. Babies can hear music, even in the womb. It stimulates them. Okay, I feel ridiculous.
Listen, talked to Kyle this afternoon.
What do you think, ambient, new age, or soulful classical? Ravel or Michael Hedges?
I don't know.
New age will probably irritate him. Let's go with the classical.
Kyle explained that there can be a pretty big difference between a situation like ours with 7% of the cells affected and, say, 50%.
Peter, the baby's going to be fine.
We need to talk about this.
Who's we? You and me, or you and your whole family?
It was only Kyle. Look, I didn't tell anyone else.
Oh, please don't. Peter, if there was anything wrong with this baby, I'd know it. I would.
Kyle suggested that we, consider all our options.
What options?
Well, you're only at 16 weeks,
You're
which
talking
means
about ending the pregnancy?
it's one of our options.
Is that what you want?
Julie and I want everything to be all right, but statistically speaking...
Peter, you're not listening to me. Forget the statistics. Our baby will be perfect. Trust me.
Hey, sweetie. Sorry I'm late. How was your day?
You're kidding, right?
No. Lauren, is this because I made you cover up your belly button? What's going on? What's wrong?
How do you think my day was?
I have no idea.
Is it true?
You're gonna have to give me something a little more than that.
You're the judge who's gonna tell Lila Paget she can't sing anymore?
No.
And you're censoring her video?
How would you know? Where are you hearing this?
It's all over school. Everyone knows. It was on the internet.
I'm on the internet?
Lindsay read about it on lilapaget.com. She told Taylor, who told everybody. And at lunch, this whole mess of girls comes over to my table and asks me why my mom's trying to wreck Lila's career.
And what'd you say?
I said you would never do that. I said you were too cool. I lied.
Lauren. You know I cannot talk about my cases outside of my courtroom. And I can't name any names. But if this girl were in my courtroom, and I'm not saying she is, but I would listen very carefully, and I would try to do whatever is in her best interests. That's my job.
What about my best interest? You're going to decide that Lila Paget's not allowed to sing anymore. And then everyone...
How do you even know this girl's music? Since when are you listening?
She used to be on Radio Disney all the time.
Okay, what I heard, her music, her videos, she's a little old for Radio Disney.
So what? Everybody grows up, Mom, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's unbelievable. Get this? Apparently now I'm supposed to run my docket past my 10-year-old daughter.
What did you say to Jane Marquette?
What?
I just got off the phone with her, and she told me you're interfering with Eric's defense.
Mom.
That you ambushed her in the courthouse
She
today?
wouldn't return my calls. I had to talk to her. Do you know what she's considering? She wants Eric to plead guilty to manslaughter.
Let her do her job. She knows what she's doing.
And I don't? I've been doing this for 4 years, Mom. I think I know my way around criminal defense.
She told me that a manslaughter charge would guarantee Eric minimal jail time. If he goes to trial, he could lose.
See, if he loses, he's got the wrong lawyer. It's a winnable case. How come everyone can see this but Jane?
Who's everybody? Did you talk to Stu Collins about Eric's case?
He brought it up.
Of course he did. He's hustling you for her job.
No. He thinks that Jane is making a mistake, and so do I.
Perhaps your judgment is clouded by listening to Mr. I'm a prosecutor, defense attorney, prosecutor, defense...
I think Jane is afraid to go to trial, afraid she's going to lose, and she is making a big mistake, Mom. She is selling Eric short.
In some ways, Lila has more supervision than most girls her age. I mean, I'm with her at every rehearsal, at every performance. Last year, she did a 15-city tour, singing in shopping malls all over the country. And you know what? She was the only teenager in those malls who had her mom with her every step of the way.
It seems like a lot of work for a 14-year-old girl.
I know, it does, but it's not work to Lila. She loves it. I mean, when she had the flu last month, I had to plead with her to take a day off. I mean, Lila's always driven.
You don't find that video too inappropriate or sexually suggestive for a 14-year-old to watch, let alone star in?
Obviously, I don't, or I wouldn't have allowed her to participate.
Mrs. Paget, is there anything you would not allow your daughter to do in one of these videos?
Excuse me.
Objection, argumentative.
Your Honor, Mrs. Paget is Lila's legal guardian. I think it is important to establish where she draws the lines regarding her daughter's professional activities if there's anything she finds inappropriate.
You may answer.
That's ridiculous. Of course, there are lines I wouldn't let her cross. That's my job as her mother.
So, can you give us some examples?
Examples?
In the video we saw in court, I take it that you approved of the song, the dance moves, Lila's costume.
What costume?
What I'm wondering is, what are some of the things you rejected? Can you give me an example of how you executed your veto power?
Well, I didn't have to. I'm sorry if her father was uncomfortable watching that video. That's his problem. It's not mine and it's not Lila's. He's uncomfortable with the fact that his daughter is growing up. Which I have to say is ironic, considering the message that she worked so hard to put in that video.
What message? That shirts get clingy when wet?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I got the entire message of the video. What was it?
It's simple. Girls need to feel free to express themselves.
Oh. Well, if that's the message, then I'm all for it. Which is why I would like to see her here this afternoon, where she will certainly be free to express herself.
Mrs. Gray,
Hello, Tabor. Is Jacob here?
Jacob is at a job interview, busboy for an Indian food restaurant.
Well, I brought you something.
Ding dongs.
No, a question occurred to me yesterday when I was leaving the apartment. Jacob showed me the bunk beds where you and he sleep.
Yes.
What I'm wondering is, who sleeps on the pull-out sofa? Tabor, where is William?
I only sleep at Jacob and Tabor's home. During the day, I come here and walk around.
William.
Some of the food they give away for free. This is my favorite part. This whole wall, food for dogs. Amazing.
Why did you run away?
I made a mistake. In the refugee camp, there were teachers who instruct us in what to expect in our new lives. They told us about schools in America and that our stomachs would have a hard time adjusting to the food. But there were some things they didn't tell us.
Like what?
At night, everybody sleeps alone. My whole life, I never slept by myself. I don't remember my family so much anymore, but I do remember sleeping in a bed with my brother and sister. After, when the village was burned, and I was walking with Jacob and Tabor and the other boys, we slept in groups. We had to. That way, we took turns looking out for soldiers or animals. It's what kept us alive. Even in the refugee camp, I shared a tent with them.
What happened at the Hawkers?
Here, everything is different. At night, everyone goes into their own rooms. It is what is expected, yes? It felt strange being alone. I thought about things I didn't want to think about. My family, the boys who drowned in the river, the ones who got shot, running away from the army, all of them.
You went into Amanda's room so you wouldn't have to be alone?
I slept on her floor. I just wanted to hear someone else breathing.
Okay, am I allowed to say sports bra in court?
Yeah.
That's a sports bra. It's not lingerie, and it's not my naked breasts.
What did she say? Objection!
Dad, you turn on MTV, and you're gonna see a bunch of girls dancing around in thongs, okay? This is nothing compared to that. And besides, you see more skin at the beach.
Yes, but perhaps the issue here is that this is not the beach. This is going to be beamed into, 5 million living rooms across the country?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed.
So you're comfortable with that?
Well, yeah, of course I am.
Okay. Well, was there anything that made you uncomfortable when you were making the video?
What, you mean the outfit and the wet shirt? No, those are my idea.
Really?
Absolutely. I was the one that suggested it. I mean, I told Gary Barrows, he's a big video director, and he did one of Britney's. And I told him that it'd be fun and kind of sexy if it started raining or something in the middle of the room. And he was really open to it.
And he didn't think maybe it was a little too sexy?
Well, we both wanted the video to have a message and to have it say that it's okay for girls to be okay with their sexuality. And I totally agree with that. You know, if you're on TV, you're a role model, and I take that seriously.
And did anyone ever suggest that perhaps it's not appropriate for a 14-year-old to deliver that particular message? Well, Mrs. Paget, this is also a question for you. You were there when the video was made.
I tried to stay out of the creative stuff.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that video. MTV is gonna love it. And besides, I know what this is all about, okay? Censorship. Gary told me.
Gary, your director? What exactly did he tell you?
You know he's done over 100 music videos? He has 9 MTV awards. He has Christina Aguilera on speed dial. I mean, so what if he started out making pornos? I mean, who really cares?
Excuse me?
He did what?
It was a long time ago, and he doesn't do them anymore. He doesn't need to, because he's an artist. And besides, I love him.
Oh, honey.
Can we go back to the part where he was making the porno movies?
Just give us a minute, would you?
The boy is 15 years old. The law says he needs a guardian. You know that.
We're not asking you to break any laws, Sean.
Okay. What are you asking?
Well, nobody understands the benefits of having a guardian more than William. See, he owes his life to 2 of them.
2 boys you came over here with?
Jacob and Tabor. Certainly there's a process by which one of them could become his legal guardian.
There's plenty of room in the apartment. Tabor is 18, and he has a job at a restaurant down the street.
Yes, there's a process. We get him licensed as a foster parent. We could push to have it expedited, but still, it's time-consuming.
And during this process, where does William live?
I can't live with them. Not until the license comes through.
But there are exceptions to that rule.
Well, sure, if they were brothers or something.
And what if they were brothers?
Well, it's a different story. I tell a judge they're related, he'll bend over backwards to keep a family together. What are you saying? They are related?
These boys showed up at the refugee camp without any identification whatsoever. Some of the youngest ones didn't even know their last names.
So they might be related.
For 9 years, these boys were never out of each other's sight. They helped each other find water. When one was sick, the other 2 would carry him. Together, they buried the ones who didn't make it. Are they brothers? You tell me.
Okay. I can make that case to a judge.
Everybody grows up, or at least that's what I've been told recently. My concern here, my only job, is to make sure that you are protected as you grow up. Not only from others who might harm you, but also from yourself.
That's so much crap. Are you gonna say I can't make any more videos?
No. No, as much as I would like to be, I'm not in the business of deciding what should be heard on the radio or seen on TV. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to amend the custody agreement between Joanne and Donald Pageant. The physical custody arrangement will remain the same, but the legal custody arrangement will be altered such that in all matters concerning Lila's career, the consent of both parents will be required. Essentially, what I'm doing is giving you both veto powers when it comes to decisions regarding any of Lila's professional contracts.
Great. So I'm screwed, right?
No. No, I'm not saying you can't dance and sing and be on TV and have a career, but you're not going to do any of it without meaningful supervision. And right now, your mother alone is not providing that. What you need, Lila, is a parent who sometimes will say no. And that's what I'm giving you. So in the meantime, just go be 14. This order is to remain in effect for as long as Lila is a minor.
You suck.
That's nice.
Are you busy?
Hi. Have you come here to watch the Wheels of Justice at work? Because the show ended at 5.
I've seen Eric.
How is he?
All right. He's eating, and everyone's treating him well. He's keeping up with his schoolwork, and he says he wants a new lawyer.
Did you talk to him about Jane?
He says that she's been pressuring him to make a deal, but he wants to plead innocent. He agrees with you that she's scared to go to trial.
Oh. So what do we do?
I've spoken with Sean. We fired her. And I was wondering about your friend, Mr. Collins. Do you trust him? As a lawyer, I'm putting everything else aside.
Yes, I do. If I were in Eric Black's position, the first person I would call would be Stu.
Why don't you do that, then?
Okay.
No, I understand. I'm sorry I didn't call you back earlier. I have your file right here in front of me on an adjustable call tomorrow. Thank you for your understanding, Mr. Bardock. Yes. Yeah, you too.
How you doing?
I don't know. I slept about 20 minutes last night. I'm afraid to look at this policy I just wrote up. I think it's all in Latin.
You have a lot on your mind. Things will calm down. Listen, I was thinking that maybe I didn't answer all of your questions yesterday.
I don't even remember what they were.
Well, I brought you some more information on chromosomal mosaicism and trisomy 18, risks, possibilities, all the math.
Oh, thanks. I like the math. I get the math.
Just remember, even the math is murky. Most of medicine, it's guesswork.
Jillian's in total denial. I broached the subject of terminating the pregnancy. I know the numbers aren't in our favor, but she's got this faith.
Peter, I'm a scientist and you're an actuary, so this may sound strange, but sometimes there are more important things than the numbers. The numbers don't take into account the significance of this pregnancy to you.
We were told it would absolutely never happen. Absolutely. It really is a miracle.
Yeah.
And this baby, people deal with this stuff all the time.
Many of them do more than deal. They thrive.
You think?
I've seen it. Here's what I believe. As a general rule, no one is given more than they can handle.
So tell me this. I take Eric's case. Are you going to be second-guessing me the whole time?
Second guessing, backseat driving, armchair quarterbacking, you name it, the answer's yes.
Okay.
Is that gonna be a problem?
No. The way I see it, it's actually more of a perk.
Okay. Okay, well, there's one more thing. When you left a year ago, you and I were moving toward.
Believe me, I remember.
And maybe at some point in the future, it would be good to figure out what that something is.
Great idea. See, that's why you're a judge. You're smart.
But if you take this case, then that gets put on the shelf for a while, okay? No romance, no nothing. Not until the case is done. Not until you've won.
I want this case.
I want you on this case.
On the other hand,
I know.
Why don't I take the night, sleep on it? That way I'm not on the case.
No,
not
there's
yet.
no time. There's no time. There's an arraignment tomorrow afternoon. If you sign on, then you have to go home and do 3 weeks of work tonight.
When it's over, we figure all this out?
That's the deal.
Okay, I'm going home to read.
Okay.
And I will see Eric first thing in the morning.
Thank you. That's good.
I'm
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, the foster child who killed Amy Stalker goes on trial. All the drama of judging Amy is next on.
The prosecution will argue that Eric is a dangerous street kid who laid in wait for Jason Lobdell, then murdered him in cold blood.
Right, then you will prove that Eric is a sweet, frightened boy who Jason Lobdell lured into the yard to kill him before he came in and slaughtered us in our beds.
Amy.
Hey, it's a fight to the death. I'm loaded for bear.
You are not loaded for anything. You're an observer.
I'm not good at that.
Of course you are. You're a judge. Basically, all you ever do is sit back and watch other people work.
Hey!
They'll put on their guys. I will destroy them in cross, and then it's our turn.
Put Mom on first.
No.
Absolutely not.
Why wouldn't you use Maxine? She's the closest thing Eric has to a grandmother. Yeah, mother, I mean.
Ms. Gray, in the time since this heinous murder, have you discussed the evening's events with the defendant?
Yes, in detail.
So Eric did tell you something?
Jose, okay. I don't want that question asked or answered in my presence. Thank you.
But wouldn't the prosecution just put Maxine on the stand and ask her?
No.
How can you be so certain?
Because I didn't put you on my list of witnesses, so the prosecution will think that I'm trying to trick them into putting you on the stand.
How do you know that they will not figure out that you do not really want me on the stand and call your bluff?
Because I'm smarter than they are. Now, the Superior Court's importing a judge from Norwich to avoid the appearance of cronyism. A little bit of a nut, apparently, but that works for us.
Why does that work for us?
Mommy, I was thinking about Eric.
I know, honey. We're all thinking about Eric.
So I made hats for his birthday party.
Eric turned 17 on the opening day of the trial.
They won't allow a party.
Well, certainly the three of us can pull some strings and throw Eric a party.
Why does it work for us? The judge is a nut.
Amy, look around you.
It's pretty sad I'm using my vacation time to attend a trial. What are you going to be doing?
I may look in on Eric's trial from time to time.
Put you on the list.
You about done in here?
Beg your pardon?
These are Judge Gray's chambers.
She's going on vacation, right?
Yeah?
While Judge Graves on the beach, her chambers are being loaned to Judge Nancy Paul. I'm Wesley Roberts, CSO.
Did you know about this?
No.
Wesley, do any of these windows open? Judge Gray, I'm Judge Paul. Thank you very much for the use of your chambers and the courtroom.
I'm Judge Gray's CSO. We'll sign next.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Fear of racism versus fear of sexism, and fear of racism won out.
You're gonna break that.
It's nice to meet you, Judge Paul.
The presiding judge gave me your chambers behind your back. Do you know why? He doesn't like you.
How do you know that?
Intuition. Listen, but don't worry. You'll go on your vacation. This whole trial will be history, and I will be back in Norwich.
You're from Norwich?
Yes, the Riviera of Connecticut without the Riviera.
You're on the Eric Black trial.
That's right.
We shouldn't be talking. I'm the reason you were imported. Eric Black is a friend of the family's.
Well, we're in bounds. We have 2 witnesses right here, CSOs. But while we're talking about it, what do you think? Just a little judicial humor.
You're gonna break that window.
We should get out of here. It's nice to have never met you, Judge Paul.
Yeah, nice to have never met you as well. I didn't want it open permanently, Wesley.
Birthday party. I don't feel very festive. Well, do it for Lauren. She made hats. Mr. Collins says it will look good to have supporters at the trial. Is there anyone you can think of?
No. Time's up. I have nightmares about what happened.
That means you're not a psychopath. I find that reassuring.
There's one friend from school, Mark Thurber. Sean has his phone number.
Mark Thurber.
Bruce. I broke up with Gordon.
Who would have seen that coming? Wait, but shouldn't he have seen it? Since he's an astrologer?
I'm already sorry I told you.
I think you broke up with him to give me a clear shot.
I find your terminology offensive.
But I'm right?
Are you asking me out?
Yes. I'm on vacation. Rebecca's going to stay with her mother. Let's run off to New York together.
Whoa, big man. We haven't reached the checking into hotel stage yet.
But then what we should do is get together and discuss various stages and how we might reach them.
Mr. Braun, you're too old to be afraid of a shot.
I'm not afraid of the shot, lady. I'm afraid of getting it from the hired help.
Yeah, I would be too, especially from Nurse Corazon. Around here we call her Vlad the Impaler.
Not an appropriate time for hilarious little jokes, Dr. McCarty.
Are you a full doctor or another half doctor?
What's the skinny? No offense.
Mr. Braun is a non-insulin-dependent diabetic. He received a burn and puncture wound on his arm while changing the oil in his car. Dr. Reddickard ordered a tetanus shot, but Mr. Braun has already chased off 3 interns and a resident.
You need a tetanus shot, Mr. Braun.
Fine. You give it to me.
All right. I need a hypodermic with a big, fat needle and an ampule of tetanus.
We're supposed to use these.
Didn't you hear me? A dull, rusty needle and the really thick, syrupy tetanus solution.
He's kidding, right?
It's Gemma Lonsdale, Eric's prosecutor.
Lonsdale's good.
Yeah? She really thinks Eric's guilty.
Who's that with her?
It's Lisa Lobdell, the victim's sister.
I don't think of Jason as having a family.
Everybody has family, even psycho stalkers.
Amy, Bruce, Mr. Collins, meet Eric's friend, Mark Thurber.
Welcome out to support Eric.
Connecticut versus Eric Black. Judge Paul wants to address everybody.
That's why do judges talk to witnesses before they testify? Never seen my courtroom from this side. Is the seal crooked?
Everybody here? Fine, there are a few elephants in the room that I'd like to acknowledge before we get going. You have a very innocent face. And a very snappy suit.
Maxine bought it for me.
I assume you mean the suit, not your face. Maxine. That would be your DCF caseworker, is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you buy suits for all your charges or just those accused of murder?
Are those my only choices?
Pretty much. You can sit. Also in the court today, Superior Court Judge Amy Gray, And regional.
This is not normal
manager,
judicial behavior.
DCF, Sean
Normal.
Doubles.
Like you making a witness go out and change because you didn't like her belly button?
And Mr. Van Exel, the court services officer. Did your boss require your presence today?
No, Your Honor. I am a family friend.
It's very touching. And you in the back. Who are you?
Mark Thurber, ma'am. Just a friend, no one important.
Oh, friends are very important at a trial, especially those without influence. And I assume you're a relative of the victim.
I'm his sister.
I'm very sorry for your loss. And I wonder how all this conspicuous support for the defendant looks to you.
Like, not fair.
I imagine you compare your side of the courtroom to the defense side of the courtroom, and you worry that I'm going to be swayed that a kid with this kind of high-powered influence must be innocent. Well, there is an alternative interpretation. Maybe he is just a very bad kid who threw away his own life, as well as the life of your brother. Those are the elephants. Now let's skedaddle the witnesses out of the room and get started, shall we? Ms. Lonsdale, I believe you're first.
The people will show that Eric Black, a former street hustler.
Okay. Lawyers, here's my philosophy, okay? All finger pointing, all name calling, all general snottiness will be relegated to closing arguments when and if the charges can be substantiated.
Yes, Your Honor. The evidence will show that Eric Black ambushed Jason Lobdell on the night of his death. Forensic evidence will show that Jason Lobdell was fleeing at the time of his murder, that he was unarmed at the time of the attack upon his person, and that the murder weapon, a knife, belonged to Eric Black. In short, we will prove that Eric Black planned and executed the cold-blooded murder of Jason Lobdell and should bear full culpability under the law. Dr. Masuko, can you characterize the wounds suffered by the murder victim?
The victim's hands and forearms were slashed. Objection. The references to murder and victim are prejudicial.
Sustained. Please use the term killer and dead guy.
Are these the type of wounds usually referred to as defensive?
Yes.
Did you find any defensive wounds on the killer?
None whatsoever.
Is this congruent with the defense's contention that Eric Black wrested the knife from Jason Lobdell and killed him in self-defense?
No.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I am always amazed at how much you forensic types can tell from a few scratches. You're like those old Indian trackers in the westerns who could tell the color of a man's hair by the way his horse walked through the water.
Lose the sarcasm, Mr. Collins, as much as I enjoy it personally.
Right. These defensive wounds, how can you be sure that Mr. Lobdell was backing away?
The cuts tapered, became shallower. If the victim had been advancing, they'd have deepened.
Simple physics. Except, couldn't the victim have been advancing while my client fended him off with the knife?
That would indicate extraordinary aggression.
My contention is, sir, that the victim was staggeringly aggressive, advancing so viciously, in fact, that he essentially drove the blade into his own heart. Is that possible?
Again, the magnitude of rage would be so pronounced.
Say the victim was a psychotic stalker. Theoretically, no slander intended against the deceased Mr. Lobdell.
Given that set of circumstances, yes.
Maybe that's what happened. Thank you, Your Honor.
What's wrong with me?
I mean, aside from the fact that you're overweight, middle-aged, and suffering from diabetes?
102.8 with a bullet.
Oh, wow. This is blistering, but it's not showing any sign of infection. Why are you running a fever?
Are you supposed to know that?
Yeah, that's right. Let's take some blood.
More needles?
Start Mr. Braun on a vancomycin drip per pharmacy, and we'll get this set right in an hour.
late is Mommy this time?
Not too late, honey.
An hour and 6 minutes? I can tell time upside down now.
Oh, Hello. I'm Zola.
I'm Rebecca. I thought you were my mommy.
No. Your daddy and I were going to, I'm sorry, should I?
Come in. Rebecca's mother's running a little late.
1 hour and 7 minutes.
Hello. Oh. What a lovely gathering.
Can we confirm how long you're going to keep Rebecca?
I'll know when I know. At which time I will call you on the telephone, and then you'll know.
I have plans.
Yeah, I see that. You're gonna want to lay off the suggestive tone with me.
Zola, call me when you can. Yeah, have a good time, baby.
Hi, Daddy.
I'm sorry, this is new for me. I'll polish up my insult with a smile skills.
Good.
You say you were asleep, Judge Gray?
Yes.
Then you were wakened by the burglar alarm?
No.
Then what woke you?
It could have been the wind or nothing. A bad dream.
If Eric were moving around downstairs, crossing from window to window, keeping watch, might that wake you up?
Yeah. Or if he went to the bathroom or got himself a glass of water.
Good one.
Where were you when the burglar alarm sounded?
In the upstairs hallway, talking to my mother.
You live with your mother?
It works for us.
Judge Gray, what happened when you and your mother heard the burglar alarm?
Well, we rushed downstairs, and we could see that the den door was open, and outside Eric was outside.
Standing over Jason Lobdell's body?
Yes.
With a bloody knife in his hand?
Yes.
With blood all over his chest?
All over his t-shirt and jeans, yes.
Was the house abnormally cold?
No.
Then why the t-shirt and jeans?
I can't answer that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Collins.
Judge Gray, what was Eric wearing on his feet?
On his feet? He was barefoot.
If he expected trouble, if he expected to kill someone out in the backyard on a cold October night, don't you think he'd wear shoes?
Objection. Speculation.
Counsel asked the witness to speculate about the t-shirt and jeans.
I was wondering why you didn't object. Overruled.
I would expect someone planning an ambush to wear shoes.
Three years ago, Mr. Braun suffered congestive heart failure.
They put him on a strong diuretic with good responses. Echocardiogram showed improvement.
He went off it a year later.
He's complaining about pains in his hip and his side.
Doesn't make sense.
Look, Chem 20 is fine. CBC and diff normal. No indications of left shift. Blood cultures are normal. Why is his temperature rising? Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Are you asking a nurse to consult?
I'm not one of those kind of doctors, okay? I'm not going to blame any of this on you, and I'm stumped. So if you have something, please share.
Well, I've never seen anything like this. I'm completely confused. Now, doctor, if you tell any of the other nurses I said this, they will not believe you, and I'll deny it.
You better get Lily in here.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay, okay.
Are you ready for your surprise?
Bring it on.
Ta-da!
Wow. Thanks, everyone.
Now make a wish, but don't tell us what it is.
Thanks, everybody. This is great.
Come on. Last year we all went bowling for your birthday. That was great. This sucks monkey butt.
What do you think about Eric's judge?
Judge Paul? She's okay.
She's okay? She's out there, baby.
Or says the judge who sentenced a gangbanger to listen to show tunes.
What are you suggesting? That we're similar in some way? Because we're not.
All right.
I mean, why does she look at her CSO all the time? Does she need his approval for every ruling?
Ooh, rumor has it she's been carrying on an affair with him for the last 10 years.
Well, the way she looks at him, I believe it.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Van Exel.
Bruce, you brought Eric a woman for a birthday present.
The kind of humor where people own other people is not amusing to African Americans.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I absolutely apologize.
This is my friend Zola Knox, and she is torturing you for her own amusement because you're white.
Have some cake, Miss Knox.
No, thanks. I'm cutting down on my carbs.
This young man is incarcerated, facing murder charges. No one knows when he will be allowed to have another party, and you are concerned about your carbs?
Oh, my God. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course, I can have pieces.
This is my friend Maxine Gray. You two have a lot in common.
Hey, it's okay. So I brought you a present, but they wouldn't let me bring it in.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Okay, now what do you want more than anything? Because that's what I got you. I really want it. You did. Thank you. Cool. Oh, yeah, here you go.
Did you just wake me up?
Yeah.
I'm brushing my hair back from my forehead.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to wake someone up.
Ron Braun died.
Why wasn't I called?
It happened very quickly.
I'm his doctor. I was in the hospital. You should have called me.
I called for a doctor.
I responded first. He went into respiratory distress, so I started resuscitation, but he went into full arrest.
We initiated a code blue and we didn't get a rhythm. There's nothing anyone could have done.
Well, we won't know that now, will we? Because I never had the chance to keep my patient from dying, did I? This ever happens again, I'll have your job.
No. I'll go.
Dr. McCarty,
What?
your patient died. You'll have to face a board. So will Dr. Labonte, and so will I.
So?
So maybe instead of antagonizing nurses who can be very helpful in situations like these, you could play it a little smarter.
He came in here with a burn on his arm, and he's going out in a body bag.
Thanks for the party. And thanks for bringing Mark. Did you like him?
Is that why you asked me to stay? To ask me if I think Mark is cute and nice?
No. What if they asked me about the knife?
They can only ask you about the knife if Mr. Collins puts you on the stand.
Mr. Collins says my testimony totally explains the forensics.
You haven't told him about the knife?
He never asked. He told me never to tell him anything he didn't ask. When I admit it's my knife is premeditation, I go to jail.
I do not agree.
I can't risk it. I've been in jail before.
What do you want? My permission to lie on the stand under oath? Because I will not give you that permission. You know my beliefs. We make our choices and we live with the consequences.
The consequences of lying are a stay out of jail.
A good man does not lie under oath.
What is the use of being a good man in jail?
Do you think this is another small, unimportant lie? Because it's not. It is a lie about the death of a human being that makes it big and very important.
Time's up. Mark is... He means something to me. Like no one ever... It's another reason to stay out of jail, that's all.
Well, it's too late for dinner, but we can drop by Goodwin's, have a drink, eat some crab puffs. Are crab puffs still in season? Do you even like crab puffs? Okay, forget crab puffs. I know a place where we bring our own wine, they look the other way and feed us jambalaya.
I can't go out with you.
Wow, you really hate jambalaya.
I don't want you to be mad at me.
Why would I get mad? Did you keep jerking me back and forth?
You're in love with 2 other women.
What?
Your ex-wife.
We were never married.
And your boss. I saw you with both of them today, and it was obvious. Big man, you're a mess. And you'll make a mess out of me if I let you.
Forget this. I'm not doing any more defending myself or arguing or assuring you. I'm done. I'm just going to take you home and we'll forget we ever met.
That would be best for both of us.
I know that now. I didn't before, but I sure as hell know it now.
We still don't know.
All right. It looks like you did almost everything by the book.
Almost?
Let me rephrase that. Dr. LeBon, you did everything by the book. There's no way a board will find you culpable in Ron Braun's death.
Lovely.
No, it's nothing, but still.
What?
You didn't use a prepackaged tetanus shot. You used a hypodermic and ampule.
So that doesn't make any difference.
I couldn't agree more, as long as you followed aseptic technique.
Of course I did.
I believe you. But I'm going to advise you to lie to the board.
What?
She's right. Just say you used the prepackaged shot.
Why?
Because it's standard operating procedure.
But it doesn't matter.
It's just my advice. Don't give them anything. Rewrite it.
I don't like lying.
Is that because you're basically honest or because you're basically self-destructive?
It's because I don't like lying. I did it for years with great ease, and it only ever got me into more trouble. So one of the very few promises I made to myself is that I would not lie. Not when it was important. Ron Braun, that man, he was important.
In that case, it was nice working with you.
And the major issue is ownership of the murder weapon. The prosecution will say that it's Eric's and that he attacked and killed an unarmed man with it. We say the knife was Lobdell's and that he came to the house intending to use it. Luckily, Lobdell has a history of weapons violations.
There's something you should know.
Maxine, please.
You should not put Eric on the stand. I think you understand what I mean.
Okay, zip.
What's going on?
Mom knows that Stu is an ethical lawyer, and he cannot knowingly let Eric lie on the stand. And I can't hear this either.
You were gonna lie on the stand?
This is precisely why I did not want you to tell me what happened that night. My question to you is this. Who are you going to be when this is all over?
Where did you meet Jason Lobdell?
Bergen.
Bergen Correctional Institute.
Yeah, I was there for breaking and entering. Jaced for armed robbery.
Armed robbery? So he had a gun?
No, a knife. Jace didn't like guns. He said they were too noisy.
Your Honor, permission to show evidence to this witness?
Yes, but please don't give it to him. I don't like his shifty eyes.
Do you recognize this knife?
Maybe it looks like it could be, kind of familiar.
Mr. Thayer, you're currently housed at the Hartford Correctional Institute, is that right?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yeah, I realize it's a lot better here than there, but if you don't get more succinct with your answers, I'm gonna add to your sentence.
All right. Jace had like 20 knives. I think I've seen that one before. I think I've seen him practice throwing with it. Even though it's not a throwing knife.
Thank you. That's it for me. Thanks.
Can you say for certain this weapon belonged to Jason Lobdell?
Not for certain, for certain.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge Gray. Judge Paul. Nancy.
Nancy, we can't talk.
No. Not about the trial or the defendant, so we won't.
Okay.
You know, I've never had a case so closely tied to another judge before. Especially one I respect.
Respect? We don't really know each other.
I've read your judgments. You've left your mark. You've made a difference.
Thank you, Judge Paul.
That's why I hope we can keep this professional, not second guess each other. Keep our own counsel after I've made my decision.
You mean not describe you as eccentric to the press if you decide against Eric?
Oh, now that you said that particular name, I gotta go. Ta-ta.
What was that?
I think maybe she just told me she thinks Eric is guilty.
You solemnly swear and solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Eric, did you kill Jason Lovedell?
Yes.
How?
With that knife.
Why'd you kill him? Did you hate him?
No. I didn't know him except for that afternoon when he tried to kidnap Lauren.
Your Honor. Just answer the question, Eric.
No. I didn't hate Jason Lovedell.
Then why'd you kill him?
I thought he was going to kill me.
What made you think that?
He told me so. He said he was going to use that knife to cut out my heart.
Jason Lovedell was older than you, stronger, experienced with knives. Why are you sitting here charged with murder instead of him? Tell us what happened.
We struggled for the knife, and I don't know. I twisted and kicked and twisted, and then I had the knife. I showed it to him, but he kept coming. I stepped back and stepped back. I told him, I'll use this, I'll cut you, but he was mad, really mad. I was scared he was gonna kill me. He was gonna kill me.
So you cut him?
Yes.
But he kept coming?
I cut his arms good. He forced me up against the house. He tried to get the knife back. It was slippery in my hand. He was spraying blood everywhere, so I stabbed him in the chest.
Did that stop him?
No. We both fell down, and when we fell, I pushed the knife in as far as I could. It was crazy, but I thought I could, pin him to the ground and run away. We were just lying there, and I felt him stop breathing. He stopped breathing. And I knew I didn't have to run.
I'm gonna call a 20-minute recess before the cross-examination.
All rise.
Don't do that. It doesn't suit you running away.
Is this a speech about being friends?
No, I don't believe in that. Cutting your feelings down, making them smaller. I don't want to be your friend.
Fine.
Given the choice of being your friend or something more, I'm gonna choose something more.
No one's giving you a choice.
You are wrong about Judge Gray and Mia. You are so wrong.
I read your face. Both times.
Then you read wrong. Now, I know you're not used to that, so it hits hard. But maybe what's going on here is that you're feeling something strong for me, and it's easier to run than to see it through. But you know, I don't like Dr. Phil, so you can talk this all through with your girlfriends if you want to.
I would, but I have nothing to discuss with them.
No matter what you might think of these other women, you're the only one I take this much crap from. If it weren't for Rebecca, I would never see me again. And if you still think I have a thing for Judge Gray in 6 months, I'll quit my job. Now, what are you willing to do for me?
I want to commend both lawyers. Ms. Lonsdale, you were thorough and fair and very painstaking.
Thank you.
You have an annoying habit of clearing your throat, but maybe that was nerves or an allergy.
Thanks for the tip, Judge Ball.
Mr. Collins, you're clever. Lots of nuance, a musical approach.
Very kind, Your Honor. Thank you.
You have a tendency to be tricky, and your charm won't work on every judge the way it's worked on me. Now, in the matter before me, I thought I was ready to rule on this matter, but then I got a little niggling feeling. You ever get that, Wes? Yeah, there was a very big question in this case that was never asked. It's really rare when both lawyers don't ask the big question. Anybody want to guess what that big question is? No, didn't think so. Sit. Unlike a lawyer, I don't have to know the answer to a question before I ask it. I am not competitive. I'm not even a player in this thing. Hell, I am just the referee. There's no way for me to win or to lose. Lucky me. I get to ask the big question. Is this your knife, Eric? Did you wait, knife in hand, intending to take the life of this man?
No, ma'am. He brought the knife. It's not mine.
I'm finding Eric Black non-delinquent of all charges. I find that he acted in self-defense. I will release him to the custody of his foster father, Mr. Sean Potter.
All rise.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're done.
Yep. Well, is it bad? You told them the truth, didn't you? So you lied.
I told him the truth.
Then what are you so happy about?
Because we have been found non-culpable in the death of Mr. Ron Braun.
I told you we'd leave it as we found it.
Hi. And thank you.
For what? Fixing the window?
For Eric. And I am sorry for suggesting that you were implying that I shouldn't go to the press if you ruled against Eric.
That's exactly what I was implying. Tell me he's a good boy.
He's such a good boy.
Would you have ruled the same way? I mean, the case is over. You know, Eric won. It's just that I believed him when he told me that the knife wasn't his, but...
Something.
Something.
I don't know anything you don't know.
And you think he may have saved your life? And your daughter's? You like being a judge?
I like it better than sitting in the gallery, that's for sure.
You and I have a lot in common, you know. We're both considered nutty. I mean, the way I see it, we sit here and watch this parade of lunacy, mental deviance, wackos walk past us every day. If you ask me, they're nuts. Not you. Not me. Listen, you ever get to Norwich? Call me. We'll go skeet shooting.
Hey, you know, that thing you do, the critiquing the lawyers? I might start doing that.
Nothing beats ridiculing lawyers. It's very therapeutic. Try it. On me.
Raise your glasses, everyone. Defense lawyer extraordinaire. Because of him, Eric is with us tonight and not eating off a tray at Silver Street.
Speech. All right, well, I'd like to say to you what I like to say to all of my clients, and I mean this from the heart. Friends we are today, and friends we will always be. For I am wise to you, and you can see through me.
Woo! What does that mean?
No, come on.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's remarkably cynical.
What do you expect?
I'm a hero.
Thank you, Lauren.
Everything I said today was true. All but one thing.
You're the guest of honor. You should be in there celebrating.
I showed him the knife. I tried to scare him away. He tried to take the knife away, and he would have killed me.
And that is precisely what you should have explained to the judge.
I did it.
Yes, I know. You did it for us. And Amy thanks you from the bottom of her heart. But I cannot look at you the same way. I'm sad. And I'm disappointed. You got away with murder. And somehow, all of us are going to have to figure out how to deal with that.
No. All of us don't. Mark got in trouble with his parents today because of me. He told them about us, you know what I mean?
Of course I do.
So, probably the best thing would be for me and Mark to leave. Together.
You mean run away?
They'll be hiring tree planters in Canada soon. If you work hard, you can make a lot of money planting trees.
Well, that's a stupid, romantic adolescent notion.
Then I guess I'm a stupid romantic adolescent.
Eric Black, you get back here right now. Eric, come back here. Come back here.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime. Can the detectives connect the dots between two murdered husbands? Find out on Law and Order. Next on TNT.
For today. Taylor's mom is driving carpool, so she can take you home. But if you have cheerleading, call me by noon and Aunt Jillian can come get you. But either way...
I know. Call Grandma when I get home.
I, in turn, will alert the Department of Homeland Security if I haven't heard from her by 5 minutes after 3.
Okay, and let's try to lose the attitude between now and then. Both of you.
Tell her. Now.
Amy, if it's all right with you, I thought I would pick Lauren up at school today.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, we were talking, and well, I thought I could take her skating.
Skating?
Skating.
Why do you have time for that? I thought you were still coaching the... No, you don't want to take her skating. You want to put her on your hockey team. Skating. Forget about it. Honey, what are you thinking? You want to play hockey?
Grandma.
She's a very good skater. You've seen her skate?
Yeah, I've also seen her smile. It's a lovely smile, and honey, it's not the same without your teeth. I've been to hockey games. They're vicious.
Mom, you're being ridiculous. This is pee-wee hockey. And besides, Grandma played field hockey in school. What's the difference?
The difference is that you fall on the field and you get a grass stain. You fall on the ice and your head splits open, like a melon.
They do wear helmets.
Hey, Mom, this is between me and Lauren.
This is totally unfair. If I was a boy, you'd let me play.
What? That's just... Nothing could be farther from the truth.
Prove it.
All right, we're going to talk about this later. I can't prove that. It's impossible to prove.
I'm just a renter.
Which is great. 7:35 and my day's already ruined. It's a new record. Hey, Bruce, here you are. Take one of these off my hands, will you?
You bought me coffee?
Don't be so surprised. I had a coupon.
Thanks, but I don't want it.
Bruce, take the coffee, please, before I drop it and it sears the flesh off my foot. Thank you. You're ridiculous, man.
What?
Terrified somebody's gonna see me giving you a coffee and get the wrong idea.
No.
And when I say someone, I mean Zola.
Is there something in that coffee? Because I don't know where you're getting this.
Whatever you say. So are we still on this weekend? Getting the girls together?
The art thing. That's this weekend?
Sunday.
I didn't realize. I need to check my schedule. I'll get back to you.
You know where to find me.
They're no longer interested? Were those their exact words?
Foster parents change their mind, Maxine, all the time. You know that.
But we do not encourage it. We don't simply sit back and let it happen.
I didn't let anything happen. There were problems with that girl. That's how she ended up in a work camp, remember?
Well, there are always problems. Brianna Griffith is only 15 years old, but she has managed in the course of her short life to become addicted to methamphetamine and to get herself cleaned up. She's ready to start her life again.
Yes, and we will do whatever we can to help her.
We can help her by convincing her foster parents that they should be present when she is released from the work farm.
Nards are no longer her foster parents. They had a grievance. They went through the proper channels, and it is not our job to convince them of anything.
The girl deserves a second chance.
Oh, that is rich. You're handing out second chances? Why don't we drop Eric a postcard? Let him know.
So you're probably wondering why you're here.
You called, I came. That's what sponsors do.
You haven't touched your tea. You hate your tea, don't you?
Kyle.
Okay, here it is. I think I'm in love with you.
You know where to reach me.
Martin, please sit. I'm sorry.
What happened?
Nothing. Everything's great. I'm back in residency, clean, sober, the works. And this is going to sound more conceited than I am, but as it turns out, as a doctor, I'm actually kind of awesome.
But?
I think I'm ready. I met someone, and I think...
You're ready for a relationship.
Yeah, and I know that the big book of arbitrary recovery rules says I can't date for the rest of my natural life.
6 months is what's recommended.
It's been a year and a half.
Who is she?
She's a doctor at the hospital. She's great.
Is this your boss? The one you told me about?
No, not her. That's Lily. That would be a disaster. I'm not that stupid. I'm talking about Heather.
You got Lily, you got Heather. I think I've seen this hospital on late night Cinemax. I'm sorry.
No, I really like this girl. I'm pretty sure she has feelings for me, too. I mean, we work together 10, 12 hours a day, so we see each other at our absolute worst. Still, she's the kind of person that makes the day go by faster.
A workplace relationship sounds complicated.
It's not complicated. It's not even a relationship. Not yet.
Okay, let's begin. Eddie Chase and Chris Ludwig, you are charged with felony risk of injury to a minor in the death of Crystal McKinney.
Nicole Kleinman for the defense, Your Honor.
And Mr. Mayhew, you're representing the state?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, both sides are aware that with a charge such as this, the burden of proof the state must meet is a mens rea. To put it simply, the specific intent to commit a criminal act.
And since there was no criminal act, we'd like to offer a motion to dismiss and save the court valuable time and money.
Well, that is very charitable of you, Miss Kleinman, but I'd like to hear a few of the particulars first.
Your Honor, Crystal McKinney attended the rave that was hosted by the defendants where she ingested the drug MDMA, also known as ecstasy. Her heart gave out. She died at the scene.
The state couldn't find the actual person who gave Miss McKinney the drugs, so now they are coming after my clients with this ridiculous risk of injury charge.
Your Honor, as you can see, that's not a flyer for some teeny bopper tea party. It's an ad for an all-night rave where ecstasy use is the primary objective.
There is nothing on that flyer about drugs. I have my clients' flyers from previous gatherings, and you can see they are all the same, promoting nothing but a safe, alcohol-free environment for underage kids.
The state believes these individuals have hosted this rave as they have all previous raves with the sole purpose of distributing ecstasy to minors.
Okay, well, I'm convinced I need to hear more, so I am denying the motion to dismiss, and we will continue this, wait, don't tell me, in a month and a half.
Later today at 3 p.m.
Later today, 3 p.m.
Is there something you want to say to me?
No.
Eric made his choice, a dumb kid, knee-jerk choice, running away to Canada to become a tree planter, for God's sake.
Why do you think that was? You were the most important person in his life, and you turned your back on him.
I did not.
You made him feel like he was nothing but a liar.
He killed a man,
A
and
man
then,
who threatened your family.
and then he lied about it in court.
To stay out of jail. And you know something? I would have done the same thing. If that was me in court, I would have told the same lie.
I don't believe you.
This was your idea. Do you remember that? You came to me and you told me that my life was empty and that I could do this kid a world of good.
And you did.
And why do you think I resisted it? Why do you think you had to talk me into it? Because I was afraid of letting you down, not Eric, you. You set the bar too high, everyone is going to disappoint you.
Blood pressure's disappearing on me.
Dr. McCartney, what do we do?
What?
Here's your scalpel. There are the stats. What do we do?
Lily, what are you doing? Make the cut.
There's no more time.
Do it.
You're losing him.
Move. Heather, I need you to... What's it called?
Sponge.
Sponge, and then the other thing.
Suction.
Yes! Keep the blood out of my way. If I can find the leak.
Separators.
Oh.
God,
God, that's a lot of blood.
Pressure's dropping. 60 over 45.
This isn't working.
It will. More suction.
40 over 22.
Get the blood out of there.
I'm trying.
There it is. I see the puncture. Give me your finger.
My finger?
Right there.
Okay, never done this before.
Don't move.
How long am I supposed to hold my finger?
Okay,
I'm the-
just leave if I can get it clamped. Got it.
Blood pressure stabilizing.
Suture.
Olson, why don't you take over and close up?
It's all yours. Welcome back, Mr.
Johnson. Kenny Johnson.
Pressure's rising. And 70. He's stable.
Let's page ICU and tell him he's on his way.
Sponge.
That was amazing. You were amazing.
I was terrified.
Oh, good work, Kyle. But in the future, when deciding how to plug a leaky artery, your colleague's finger should pretty much be your last choice.
Point taken.
You two wash up, you've got rounds in 5 minutes.
In the future, when deciding how to remove the pole from my ass?
I never thought I'd make it.
I always knew you would.
Like, you know, that first night, all the girls in the bunk voted me most likely to go over the fence.
Who did you vote for?
I was the only one who got it right. See, the girl I voted for, we called her Who Girl. She hated it worse than anyone. She was the one. She couldn't even last a week.
I'm proud of you, Rihanna. I am. We have to talk about what happens next.
The Menards don't want me no more, huh?
What makes you say that?
I tried calling them some since I've been in here and telling them how I've been getting clean and stuff. I left like 10, maybe 12 messages. They never called me back.
You didn't always treat them well when you were living there.
Yeah. I wouldn't want me either. They got somebody else staying with them?
I don't know.
Should have gone with Who Girl. She called me a couple weeks ago from a bus station at Avon.
She's living there?
She's begging for money, trying to save up enough so she can buy a bus ticket. Only she don't know where she want to go. Me? I know where I want to go. I just can't get there.
DJ Diz, you have worked other events coordinated by the defendants?
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of their go-to guy. And let me just say, Chase and Lodi, they throw some of the chumpiest raves, but they're always non-toxic, you know? No booze, no adults, except for me.
What about drugs?
That's an interesting question.
Gosh, I'm sure glad I asked it then.
The rave culture does have its preponderance of Adam.
Who's Adam?
That's what the kids call ecstasy. Adam, or just plain E. Anyway, there's usually someone rolling. And are we all clear on rolling? Because there is going to be a test. When you drop ecstasy, then you're rolling. But these guys here, they're not into that aspect of the culture.
Did you know Crystal McKinney?
Not before that night. She requested a couple spins, but I don't do requests. I could tell she was rolling even before she hit the floor.
How so?
She had all the signs, you know? I haven't told these guys they might have a problem on their hands, but they said they already knew.
And what did the defendants do when Miss McKinney hit the floor?
They were right there, you know? Boom, giving her bottled water, breezing her face, getting her cooled down. They did their best to help her.
Nothing further.
What made you think Crystal had taken ecstasy? Couldn't she have just been drunk or on some other type of drug?
Like heavy drugs? No. This was a minor rave, you know? Kids. Chase and Lodi, they don't allow anyone over 16 inside. It's all alcohol-free. It's really safe.
Not so safe for Crystal McKinney.
Objection.
Hey, it's not their fault some girl drops too much E and bonks right on their floor.
My daughter didn't do drugs. She didn't drop or roll or whatever you call it. She was an honor student.
Mrs. McKinney.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, I think we'll stop for today.
Come on.
So is it true you clamped the artery with someone's hand?
It was mine.
It was only for a second until I could.
Awesome. Frontier medicine. You're my hero, man.
It's great. I'm Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man.
Are you coming to the McCarty-Levant Spring Festival?
Oh, absolutely. I passed my evaluation, which means I have brain cells to spare. I'm gonna kill him at your place.
With that, 4 months in and you already have a reputation. Don't you guys have something better to do?
I'm on a break.
Well, she's not. Heather, can you please call pediatrics and find out if they're ready for the Hamilton girl?
Sure thing, Dr. Redeker.
See you at the party. What are you doing to me here?
I don't know. What am I doing to you?
From now on, if you guys want to climb all over each other, don't.
Am I missing something? No one was climbing over anyone.
All I'm saying is this is a hospital, not a high school, and there are people here who actually think you're a doctor, so maybe you could act like it.
Come on, who thinks we're doctors? You coming to the party?
I don't think that's such a good idea.
It's a terrible idea. Music, dancing, fun.
Booze.
I'm just mixing the drinks.
Like I said. What time does it start?
9 o'clock sharp.
Help me out here, Lauren. Oh, man, your mom is gonna kill me.
Not gonna kill you.
That was the best time I ever had.
What did I tell you about skating with your head down?
I know.
I put this on it.
No, I don't want it to go yet. It's kind of cool. Hello?
How do we handle this?
Why don't we turn off the lights and hope she doesn't notice?
Oh, okay. Here it is. The black eye, she got stung by something. A bee.
Well, it'd have to be a pretty big bee.
All right, whatever you do not tell her that you played tonight. We ease into that part of the story, okay? We ease into it.
No sweat.
Go, 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 go.
Hi. Where are Jillian and Ned? I thought we were having dinner.
Jillian and Ned are,
Mom, I scored a goal.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
What happened to easing into it?
Oh, my God. Lauren, what happened?
She got stung.
By what?
A hockey puck.
Amy, it's only a black eye.
No, Peter, this is exactly why I didn't want to play in hockey. What the hell were you thinking?
Mom, relax your crack. It wasn't Uncle Peter. It was Grandma. She said I could play.
Well, Grandma is not allowed to make these decisions. What did you say before?
Which decisions do I get to make? Just so I know.
Don't start with me. You were in the kitchen this morning. I specifically said I didn't want Lauren playing hockey.
No, specifically you said we would discuss it later.
And did we? You knew I didn't want her to play. You ignored me.
No one ignored you, Amy. We went to the game to watch, and it turned out that 3 of the players were sick.
E. coli.
Yeah, and they would have had to forfeit unless...
I saved the day.
I made a decision, Amy. I'm sorry you're upset, but look how happy she is.
I barely even feel it.
Well, that's not the point. Mom, you know I sat on a case where a boy lost his eye in a hockey game. Lauren could have suffered permanent damage.
But she didn't.
Okay, you know what? Why don't you get more ice? Leave it on there. And Peter's gonna help you.
I've been able to reach the freezer for 3 years
Uncle Peter's gonna help you. Hey, hey, hey! I am Lauren's mother, not you.
Amy!
You can disagree all you want, but you are not allowed to veto my decisions. Okay?
Okay.
Crystal didn't even know what ecstasy was. She didn't use drugs.
How can you be sure? Aren't parents always the last to know?
Not in this case. We talked about everything. She never even went to one of these raves before this.
How do you know?
Because my daughter didn't socialize much. She never even went to parties. All she did was study.
Then how did she end up at this gathering?
Objection to the term gathering. Misleading.
What term would you prefer?
According to the defense's own evidence, it was a rave.
Mrs. McKinney, if your daughter had no history with drugs or socializing, how did she come to attend this rave?
Mrs. McKinney?
It was my idea.
What do you mean?
All year, I thought that Crystal had been studying too hard. I thought she needed to enjoy herself, have some memories of something other than the library, and I told her so. Then somebody put the flyer on my windshield when I dropped her off at school. I thought it looked like a fun, safe thing. And I asked her about it. And she said she didn't know anybody who was going. Only the cool kids went to raves. Then she bought herself a new shirt. I knew that she wanted to go. So finally I said, what's the worst that can happen? You're having a bad time, you come home early. That's what I said.
I am sorry for your loss, Mrs. McKinney. I imagine you must feel responsible.
Of course I do.
And yet, no one's bringing any criminal charges against you.
Excuse me?
Your Honor.
What are you doing, Miss Kleinman?
My clients did not give drugs to Crystal McKinney. The state's not even contending that. If we are going to try everyone who is tangentially responsible for Crystal's presence at that party, this courtroom's going to fill up awfully fast.
You're way over the line, Miss Kleinman. Rein it in.
Those boys knew what they were doing. They had a party to sell drugs. You killed my girl!
They threw the party for the same reason you sent your daughter there. To have fun, that's all. You're not responsible for your daughter's death, Mrs. McKinney. But neither are these boys.
She's clean and sober. She was re-enrolled at school. She's changed her life, and she wants you to know.
Maxine, it's not that we're not happy for her. It's just that, you know.
She can't be part of our life.
But she was for 6 years. How can you just write that off?
She tried to burn our house down, so that makes it a little easier.
She did no such thing.
She passed out in the kitchen with the stove on.
She was stoned. She was on drugs.
That's not an excuse.
No, of course not. She's responsible for everything that she did, but Brianna never intended to hurt you. She's worked hard to overcome her addiction, largely because she wanted to prove something to you.
It's too late. Let her prove it to someone else.
We're not giving up on the whole foster system. We still want to help.
See, what you're asking, it's too much.
Oh, yeah? Think the right woman can make me do that, huh? Well, she had to be a right big woman. Yeah. I tell you what, I will call you later about the thing. Okay? Yeah, you too.
Bruce, you can use the phone in the chambers. You're allowed.
I know. I was just, when my cell died and I was here.
So did you get permission for this weekend?
I wasn't asking for permission.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying. So, we're good? Sunday morning at the museum? Because the thing opens at 10, but I can call and reserve a spot.
Actually, Rebecca and I don't think we can make it. We had other plans and...
Oh. Wow. Lauren will be disappointed.
We'll do it some other time. Maybe next month.
You know
know what? I expect this kind of thing from my girlfriends. I expect them to dump me when they get new boyfriends, not from you.
I'm not dumping you, Judge Grant.
We'll see you in court.
Gee, I only let her play hockey. You're sending her to a rave?
Don't start with me.
Amy, I'm sorry about earlier.
Really?
I knew that you didn't want her to play hockey, and I should not have let her do it. But...
See, I knew this wasn't a real apology. But what? But what? You think I'm being ridiculously overprotective?
A little.
Well, you know what, Mom? Lauren came home with a black eye, so you lost that argument.
Black eyes get better. She needs to learn that.
Okay. Well, by that logic, then I should teach her that broken legs heal by pushing her down the stairs.
Well, Amy, that's just silly. Where did you learn to argue?
You know what, Mom? After all Lauren has been through in the last couple months, I can't help it. Yes, I am being overprotective. I just feel I would like to see her safe.
She is safe, but you can't keep her in a box.
Why not?
You hungry?
I could eat.
I've got a foster girl just getting out of Madeira for selling ecstasy.
I didn't say anything about ecstasy. Where does it say ecstasy?
Well, it's Oh, we should not be discussing this.
These are by far the best margaritas I have ever had.
Yeah? You wanna know my secret?
I know your secret. You're Batman.
My other secret. I use Curacao instead of triple sec. Not just any Curacao, it's a Russian blend. You can only get it from Costco. My God, I bored you to death.
Oh, no, I'm interested.
No, see, now I remember. This is why I hate being the only sober person at a party.
I'm still sober. If I wasn't sober, I couldn't do this.
Can somebody get that?
I'll get it. Don't go anywhere. Dr. Lily! You aren't dressed. Neither are you.
It's Lily! Lily's here! Dude, great party.
Thanks.
Those margaritas, man, was I hammered. Were you hammered?
No.
Don't lie to me, buddy. You, my friend, were hammered.
Lloyd, I'm not lying to you.
All right, chill. Just making conversation.
I just want your witness, your expert witness, to understand how seriously this court takes his testimony. Mr. Simbor, what can you tell me about the different kinds of ecstasy tablets that are out there now?
What do you want to know?
Well, I'm reading the toxicology report, and it says that Crystal McKinney died from heart failure due to an overdose of a certain strain of MDMA known as yellow butterfly. Have you ever heard of that particular strain of ecstasy?
Yeah, that's kind of popular now.
Oh, and look at this. Yellow butterflies in the flyer. Yellow butterfly ecstasy at the party. You think that's a coincidence?
I wouldn't know.
How about some of the other strains? Red camel. You ever hear of that one?
Yeah, I guess I have.
Green shamrock. Mr. Simbor, did the defendants advertise and sell ecstasy at their parties? Don't look at them. Look at me. Mr. Simbor, if I were to find you guilty of perjury, you should know that I'm well within my rights to order a search of your house. And what do you think they'd find? Did the defendants sell ecstasy to Crystal McKinney?
I had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with what?
The E. I'm just there to spin. I have nothing to do with the selling. I don't know if they sold to that girl, but they were doing business left and right that night.
Thank you, Mr. Sambor. You may step down. I think I'm ready to rule.
So we're open to a boy or a girl, right, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were thinking maybe we'd do better with someone younger.
I understand. But as you know, infants and toddlers are our easiest placements. So would you at least meet some of the older kids?
Whatever you think is best.
Afternoon. I didn't know you were coming in today.
No, neither did we. Sean just called us this morning.
Oh, really? Is there anything I can do to help?
No, I was just about to take them to meet some potential placements.
Maxine, your 315 is here.
My 315? I have a 315.
Why don't you use the conference room? We're about done here.
Rihanna. Oh, of course, that's my...
315.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
All right. I'm doing all right.
You look good.
Sean, could I speak with you for just a moment?
Yeah, we'll be right back.
What exactly is going on?
Okay, that was a total disaster, wasn't it? I'm so transparent. It's like you said, the girl deserves a second chance.
I wanted to give Eric a second chance. And a third chance, and I wanted to keep on giving him chances, but he ran away, Sean. I did not drive him away. He ran.
Well, it was fun, wasn't it?
You're gonna be all right. You will.
You are a lousy liar.
Thank you for going over your cases with the others.
The right thing to do. This doesn't mean I'm done, right? I mean, Kyle found a spot. Someone who took a chance on him.
Get yourself some help. I'll do what I can.
But not here.
There are a lot of hospitals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you later.
She's a very good doctor. Maybe she'll find her way back.
I have to ask you something.
I didn't want to lose Heather. It's going to be that much harder trying to keep this place together without her.
So you didn't say...
It had nothing to do with me, Kyle. It was a random drug test. Dr. Heimer from the 3rd floor wanted to teach his interns about tox screens. It happens.
But you knew about it, didn't you?
I heard something.
At my party, you said you wanted to talk to me about something and then you left. Was that it? Why did you leave?
Because I decided you're right. You're all consenting adults. I'm not your parent. That's not my job. That's not who I want to be. I'm sorry about Heather.
This seat taken?
What are you doing here, Ma? You hate this place.
Do you think that my standards are unreasonable?
Your standards? For what? For lunch? Yeah.
No, for people.
Why?
Sean Potter thinks that I turned my back on Eric And I know that you think that too.
Mom.
I wanted to help him.
I know you did. He lied on the stand, didn't he?
Amy.
That was his knife. Stupid.
He was afraid of going back to jail.
Never would have happened. Worst case scenario, she would have given him a suspended sentence. He would have walked.
I couldn't make him understand.
Oh, Mom. Nobody believed in that kid like you did. And if you could make him understand, he lived a hard, ugly life. And you showed him that he could still be an honorable man. And then there was nothing more you could do. And anybody who says that you turned your back on him, myself included, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Oh,
you want some inferior coffee?
Just wanted to make sure you got the memo on the maintenance tomorrow. Elevators will be shut down all day.
What is going on with you?
Excuse me?
It's like every 6 months you feel the need to totally disengage from me. What is it, a seasonal thing? Spring cleaning?
Yeah, that's it. You've got me figured out.
You know, we had an agreement after that night. Do you remember that night?
I remember.
We were going to be friends.
We are friends.
Oh, if this is the way you treat your friends, you must not have very many. Yeah, 4 years we've been doing this. How many times have we been there for each other? But now another woman comes around and you feel the need to totally shut down, shut me out.
By any chance, are you and Stu getting back together?
Maybe.
Pot, meat, kettle?
No.
Look, you've got some pretty big quirks yourself, lady. Biggest one, every time another man pops in your life, all you do is obsess about me.
Oh, we rather like ourselves, don't we?
Judge Gray. Amy. Here's the thing. I like Zola. A lot.
What does that have to do with me?
Not sure, but something. Our friendship is very important to me. I don't want to wreck that, but I need to see if this is going anywhere.
And Zola thinks you like me?
As a friend, I'm asking for your help to convince her otherwise.
I hate Zola Knox.
I hate Stu Collins.
Do what you gotta do, big man.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, Amy makes a custody decision after a child brings drugs to show and tell. Don't miss Judging Amy.
আচ্ছা আপনি ওই দিন আপনার আম্মার সামনে আমার লগে এরকম ব্যবহার করছেন কেন?
আমার ইচ্ছে হয়েছে আমি করছি আর আমার পিছে ঘুরে লাভ নাই।
কেন? আমি আপনার ভালোবাসি না, করবো না কেন?
বেহায়া মেয়ে রে বাবা, তোমার তো আমি ক্লিয়ার করে বলছি যে আমি তোমার বিয়ে করব না।
আরে আপনার আম্মাই তো আমার পছন্দ করছে, তো আপনি শাদি করবেন না কেন?
তাহলে তারই বিয়েটা করো।
জি 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 আফতাক করলো কি কইতাছেন? আমি আপনার আম্মারে কেন শাদি করব? আমি তো আপনার শাদি করব। আর আপনি যদি আমার শাদি না করছেন তাহলে কয়ে দিলাম ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম আমার হাতে লিখুন।
তোমার যা ইচ্ছা তুমি তাই করো, আমি একদমই ভয় পাই না। আগেরবার মাইনে নিছি খেলা ছিল দেখা, এটা খেলা না, এটা আমার জীবন। আমি জীবন নিয়ে ছেলে খেলা করতে পারবো না।
আমি হাঁচা হাঁচা কইতেছি, আমি কিন্তু ব্লেড দিয়ে
হাতে পায়ে গলায় মুখে সব জায়গায় যেখানে ইচ্ছা সেখানে লেখো, ইংরেজি বাংলা ফার্সি যেটাতে পারো সেটাতেই লেখো, আমার কিচ্ছু যায় আসে না।
আপনার আমি শেষবারের মতো কইতেছি, আপনারা আর বেশি সময় দিব না, শুধুমাত্র 12 ঘন্টা সময় দিলাম। এই 12 ঘন্টার মধ্যে আপনি আপনার মত বদলাইবেন, নাহলে কইলাম আমি হাঁচায় ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম লিখে ফেলাম, আমার কেউ আটকাইতে পারবো না।
আরামসে তুমি সিগারেট টানো, বুঝো নাই শান্তিতে, আর ওদিক দিয়ে কাম সারছে।
আরে শুনোস না, ওই মেয়ে তো ডেঞ্জারাস একটা ঘটনা ঘটায় ফেলছে। লেট দিয়ে হাত কাটছে, এখন কি হইব মামা?
ওই মেয়েটা
বস কি মামা? হাত
কেন? ওই মেয়ের তোর কোনো কথা হয়েছিল?
কালকে রাত্রেবেলা বাসার সামনে এসে দাঁড়ায় ছিল, আমার 12 ঘন্টার আলটিমেটাম দিছে।
এই কিসের আলটিমেটাম দিছে রে? হ্যাঁ,
আরে ওই বিয়াতে রাজি না হইলে কি জানি।
এই কথা তুই আগে কবি না।
আরে আমি কি বুঝছি নাকি?
আরে না বাবার কি আছে, বুঝোস না, মেয়ে তো একটা ডেঞ্জারাস। এখন যদি কিছু হয়ে যায় মামা, আমাকে তো পুলিশে ধরে নিয়ে যাবে।
আমি কি করছি?
ও আমি কি করছি কিছু জানো না? না ওই বেটা আইনার মারপে জানো, জীবনে তো থানায় তুই যাস্তে জানবি কেন? থানায় আমি গেছি। ফোন যে কোনো হলে আত্মহত্যা প্ররোচনকারী যেই হোক না কেন, তার নাম যদি একবার থানায় গিয়ে কয় মামা, তাহলে তোর খবর আছে। এখন তুই কি করবি তুই চিন্তা করে দেখ।
কি করছে সব? এই লাইলি বাইচা আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ শুনলাম ও তো বাইচা আছে।
কোন হসপিটাল আছে? আমি যাই একটু দেখা করে আসি।
হসপিটালে যাই দেখা করে, হসপিটাল থাকলে এতক্ষণ তুমি চৈত্র শিকার ভিত্তি থাকলা, বুঝো নাই? আর তুমি যাই হয়তো বাসায় আছে। এই তুই কি ওর বাসায় যাবি?
তুই যাবি মামা?
হায় রে খোদা, তুমি আইছো, আমি জানতাম তুমি আইবা। আমি লাইলে রে কইছি তুমি আসবা। চ্যাংরা হও আর রক্ত গরম হও, মানুষ তো, তোমার মনের ভিতরে সেই প্রেমটা আছে।
আচ্ছা আমি লাইলির সাথে একটু দেখা করবো।
লাইলির সাথে দেখা করবা?
কেমন আছে ও?
আছে বাবা, আসো আসো, তোমার আমি একটু দেখা করাতে আসো।
এইসব কি?
প্লেট দিয়ে তোমার নাম লিখছি, বানান ঠিক আছে?
একদম ঠিক আছে। কিন্তু কি বলো বাইক না, ভালো হয়েছে না? আমি কিন্তু লাইলিতে কইছিলাম যে লাইলি ছবি তুইলা ওরে পাঠাই দে। হয় কইছে যে না, কিছু জিনিস আছে এগুলো ছবি তুলে পাঠালে সঠিকভাবে দেখা যায় না, সামনাসামনি দেখতে হয়। এর লেগে তো এতক্ষণ ধরে তোমার জন্য অপেক্ষা করতেছি।
এইসব পাগলামির কোনো মানে আছে?
আছে না, তোমার আমি শাদি করব, তুমি আমার শাদি করবা, করবা না?
এই তুমি কি আমার বলদ পাইছো? বলদ এই পাশে দাঁড়ানো লোকটার মতো।
নীল তুমি আমার মামার নিয়ে কি করতেছো?
আমি বলবো তুমি শুনবা। মানে এই যদি তোমার হাত কাটার নমুনা হয়, হ্যাঁ আমি জানলে আমি জীবনেও আসতাম না। আর যদি হাত সত্যি সত্যি কাটতাও তাও আসতাম না, কোনো লাভই হতো না। আমি তোমারে বিয়ে করব না। তোমার মতো মেয়ের সাথে শুধুমাত্র মজা নেওয়া যায়, বাড়ির বউ করা যায় না। তোমার মধ্যে ওই রকম কোনো এলিমেন্টই নাই।
তুমি একটু বেশি বেশি করতেছো না?
এই মাঝখান দিয়ে ঢুকে গেলেন? হ্যাঁ সাদে কি আপনার মাইনছে হাবলু কয়? এর লেগে আপনার হাবলু কয়। আর ঢুকছেন যখন, তখন আমারে না বুঝায় আপনার এই ড্রামাবাজ ভাগ্যিরে বুঝান। আমি ওরে বিয়ে করব না, আমি মরে গেলে ওরে বিয়ে করব না। মানে নিজের তো কোনো মান সম্মান নাই, পরিবারের মান সম্মানটা যদি খোয়াইতে না চাও তাহলে এসব বন্ধ করো। সবার সামনে অপমান করবো না।
থাক ভাগ্নি, তুই কষ্ট পাইস না, হয় তোরা বুঝতে পারে নাই। আর যেদিন বুঝতে পারবো, হয় কান্দা বুক চাপলাইব, তখন বুঝবো যে কি জিনিস হারাইছি। তুই কান্দিস না ভাগ্নি, একদম কান্দিস না। তুই থাক, আমি আইতাছি, দেখতেছি।
কি দেখেন?
বাইকটা কি আপনার?
হ্যাঁ আমার বাইক, কি হয়েছে?
নাম্বার প্লেট কই?
সেটা দিয়ে আপনার কি দরকার?
রাইট দেন।
হ্যাঁ রাইট দিই, কি হয়েছে?
বেরিবাদ যাবেন?
না ভাই, এই মুহূর্তে বেরিবাদ যাবো না ভাই।
ভাই চলেন না, আমার মায়ের অসুস্থ।
ভাই আমার রাইড শেষ, আমার পোলার আছে জন্মদিন, আমার তাড়াতাড়ি বাড়ি যাইতে হবে, আমি যাইতে পারবো না। তো আপনি আর একটা রাইড দেখেন, এ নিয়ে যাবো আপনারে।
ভাই বিপদ তার বইলে আসেন, আমার মায়ের অসুস্থ। ভাই আপনার মা অসুস্থ থাকলে কি একজন হেল্প করতো না?
এই মুহূর্তে ভাই এই বেরিবাদে আমার বাড়িটা থাকলো উল্টা দিকে, আমার যাইতে অনেক দেরি হয়ে যাবো।
ভাই একটু স্যাক্রিফাইস করেন না ভাই, আমার মা অসুস্থ, আপনার মা অসুস্থ থাকলে কি আপনি করতেন না?
আরে
একটু বাড়াই দেবো ভাই, চলেন ভাই।
আরে এই সময় বেরিবাদ কেমনে যাবো
ভাই? আয়ান না, আমি তো আপনার সাথে যাইতে আছি ভাই, আমার একটু নামাই দিয়ে আসেন, খুব দরকার ভাই।
আমার
চলেন ভাই।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে চলেন। ভাই কোন দিকে? ভাই আর কোন দিকে যাবো কোন তো? সেই কখন থেকে তো সামনে সামনে করতেছে।
মা, শফিকরে ডাক দাও।
আমার অনেক রাত হয়েছে।
তাহলে একটা কাজ করো, ওর জন্য একটা কেকের পিস রেখে দাও।
আচ্ছা রাইখা দিব না, কাল সকালে তুই দিয়ে আসিস।
মা, মোমবাতি কই?
মোমবাতি আনতে তো ভুলে গেছি একদম।
তাহলে কাজ করো, বাবাকে আনতে কইয়া দাও।
তোর বাপ কি জানে যে কেক কিনে নিয়ে আসছি? আচ্ছা আগে আসুক, তারপরে দোকানে পাঠাবো নেবো মানে।
তাহলে একটা কাজ করি, আমি নিজে গিয়ে নিয়ে আসি।
ছোট মানুষের রাতেবেলা বাইরে যাওয়া নিষেধ তোরে শিখাইছি না?
তাহলে আবার একটা কাজ করো, বাবাকে ফোন দিয়ে কইয়া দাও বেলুন আনতে, আর বলবা যে তাড়াতাড়ি আসতে।
আর একটু অপেক্ষা করি, হ্যাঁ তারপর কমুনি।
Anh Ngày. Wow, Hiếu Khôi, Hiếu Béo, tao mày, phỏng vấn xong gì? Dương áo Dương về quê. Không, Dương về quê thì cho về quê cho nước vào trong. Đi ăn lỗ ấy. Thằng Dương đi ăn lỗ ấy. Chít đây à? Có một chít đây à? Có một chít đây là đâu? 5 người mà, chủ đề béo nữa quên rồi. Đó. Yes. 200 rồi. Em muốn chắc cái thôi nhỉ, tích. À tích, bao giờ nhớ tích cho em. Ê, cái mày. Cái trò đang có sự kiện đúng không? Chuẩn. Đúng game này có sự kiện nó đang cho búng mấy tiếng x2 ngôi sao, x2 may mắn, x2 tiền có sao. Gà núp cộng một núp. Anh không sẵn sàng vào trận từ của anh. Đâm hàm. Cộng một chít đây, cộng một chít đây Vũ ơi, cộng một chít đây. Yes. Mình một chút vua cao ấy, vua cao chắc là khỏi lưng người vua à? Tí này tí chắc là ngày ngồi nhiều quá bị thoái hóa rồi. này từ ngày đánh game từ cấp 2 đi bây giờ. Sự mà ác quỷ đấy. Đây. Yes sir, bút. Này. Tí được lắp tiếp theo. 200 củ, 300 củ vào. Đây rồi, sắp reverse nữa rồi. Một reverse nữa xong bay cái chậm chậm ấy. Chôn đấy. Học vị trí 6, học vị trí 6 đang làm content mà. Thì anh ấy. Anh chị 6 ơi, là học vị trí 6 trên link các chú bía đi đánh giải. Viking, ở Viking. Thằng ấy đánh chôn mà. Gì phải Titan giải có so cái. Thằng ấy sự kinh ấy. Anh mua chuột ở shop của nó mà em, thằng ấy nó order chuột nước ngoài nó bán rồi đấy, anh cũng mua chuột của nó mà. Chuột xịn, chuột 7 lít, chuột nói chung là chuột xịn nhất trong tầm giá một củ rồi. Đó, có xịn chu binh bikini nhất trong tầm giá một củ mà em. Anh mấy con đấy đâu, mấy con đấy anh không có tiền, cho nên là thầy 400 tỷ thôi, đây rồi, thầy cần bay 3 lần nữa thì đủ. Nhà đấy đâu? Có chứ sao không? Đây, mở trứng em ơi. Thôi à? Không biết. Chó à? Mà có chửi đi không? Anh ra con thờ rét ở đây, nó bắt anh đánh định mệnh đúng rồi. Nó bắt ra thờ rét với con Aphia. Xóa này đó. Con thầy vợ bạn gái cơ quan. Gái thế là ra vậy. Hoàng Tuấn. Con thầy bạn gái thật ra là gì. Tuấn làm game. Tuấn làm game mà. Uầy, anh ra quả đại tiêu bị sự đồ ngon hết. Năm toái rồi, đây rồi, làm toái mua sắp rebirth rồi. Birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Bình chị lệnh. Thằng Red làm việc không? Red cũng. Gì thôi. Tất cả mọi thứ đều dừng lại rồi. Khỏe đấy. Ây à. Mua đánh content à? Đánh content mà. Cầm cái tên lửa bay sự nhanh ấy. Một tháng 4 tuần tròn bền. Cái gì vậy? Nó mang theo hả? Tưởng mày mang theo. Tự động chuyển hóa bàn đấu. Rồi xong. Ui tao oan rồi. Mày đi. Mày đi, tao oan rồi, mày đi. Không à? Dễ lắm. Nhảy đấy, không phải. Nhảy dễ mà, nhảy dễ chết. Đéo cam, có cam không nhỉ? Có cam không nhỉ? Quân sự không quản tại chỗ cao, quân sự không cam. Cũ mà, nó là bọn tao học ở trường thể thao, trường giáo dục thể dục, trường thể dục thể thao, sự là đúng cái trường đúng. Nó đang ẩn danh. Sorry broccoli, tôi lỡ nhảy. đang ẩn danh thế gì. Bảo là sau trận chung kết tôi trả nợ gì chứ. Dạ, nó đang mua đá bóng nữa, sự Bình Chi Linh ấy. Tôi sổ nghèo à? Có đất thắng à? Ui, nhiều thế nhở? Rồi, được. Anh ấy à? Anh ấy vẫn học ở đấy à? Lại ra hay sao ấy? Lại ra hay sao ấy? Nó đánh Linh Quy rất mà. Đánh Linh Quy chiến tướng hay sao ấy? What the hell? Rồi nhá, đừng. Cho Linh Quân sao được? Chơi gì trên máy tính đi. Được, giờ làm sự khoản. con vợ hôm nọ quay lên mình cái sự cáo ấy. Đéo hiểu. Con vợ ngách qua sự điêu ấy. Nó quay lên mình mà đéo hiểu. Thấy anh thanh niên đang 31 tiếng. Xong rồi ấn vào thấy đánh liên minh. Đéo hiểu. Lúc ấy mày chưa check kìa. Tao ấn vào thấy đánh minh. Đéo hiểu. Trôn bó. Con vợ trôn đéo chịu được. Ồ, anh hứa nghiện mà. Sự nghiện đấy. Đam mê. Cái gì? Nhưng mà cái gì ấy? Anh nói cái gì? Không, cái thằng mày viết cùng của tao đợt lộ à? Đâu, thằng ấy nó dám đánh nó dám đánh Liên Minh. Quý mà. Có thấy không? Nó để bao nhiêu? Để nó để xịn à? Nó để xịn à? What? À, chắc là nó xét thế. Nó xét thế cho mượt thế, cho vít mượt. Thằng Vũ quay tên ló mà. 2 tiếng 6 ghi. Gì? Ui, anh đi bớt rồi Vũ ơi. Anh bay trên trời Vũ ơi. Anh sử bay trời đến đây super xe. Đi bớt liều ba. Quay lọ đéo gì đấy. Vũ, anh bay siêu thấp Vũ ơi. Anh đi bớt sang bay siêu thấp này. Bớt sang bay siêu thấp mà. Anh thực sự yếu rồi Vũ. Được anh chạy. Không, tại trường mày có cơ sở xịn nên chỉ chẳng phải ở đấy sao? Phải cho học sinh mình thấy là trường mình có một cơ sở sự là Bình Chi Linh. Lụm mà. Yeah. Tình yêu lúc quân sự chỉ để làm content thôi. Có mấy thằng đợt tao đi ấy, đợt tao đi 2 đứa mà đang quân sự đấy là 2 đứa trong cái group content của trường mà thì nó nhìn đã biết rồi nhưng mà Vũ nhìn Vũ tưởng thằng ấy cao. Nó tóc xù mà, thằng ấy tóc xù thực sự